disclaimer, if you listen to this and take notes, be careful because your clients are going to beg you to stay with them, because this will get you working, your ads running so well that you will have all their friends asking them for your contact info so you can run ads for them as well. So be careful, because if you use this, you're going to become a legend. And then the last little fun fact before we really dive into all this is don't make your ad look like an ad. Okay, ads that don't look like ads perform better. Okay, so don't make your ad look like an ad. Now, we're going to dive into this. The first part of this is more of like a psychological thing. And this goes for ad copy, ad creatives, ad sales calls, and everything else in your business. A lot of this is psychology. And then it goes down into the creatives and the copy, the offer, the headline. And then we're going to finish it off with a checklist and then the five-step framework that you can use to make sure you have a killer ad. Okay, so let's dive right in. Something I want to introduce to you guys is the 8 life forces. Okay, this is mainly going to be tied to offers and problems, but this is quite practically applicable to everything in your life. And so what the 8 life forces are survival, like the enjoyment of life, the enjoyment of food, and I'm going to talk about why this is important after, freedom from fear, pain, and danger, okay, sexual companionship, okay, so relationship, like sexual intimacy, comfortable living, being able to live comfortably, okay, being superior, like being an authority person, winning, okay, care and protection, and social approval. Now, you might be wondering, what is important about this? Well, right now, every single one of your problems, every single one of your whys, like if I ask you, oh, what is your why? Why did you start this? Will relate back to one of these 8 core principles of life. Okay, this is Mother Nature. And so when we are creating an offer, when we're advertising, when we are marketing, okay, we want to tailor to these 8 things. Okay, we want to tailor to these 8 things, because if right now I asked you, why aren't you at 20K a month with your agency? You would come up with some reason why, some problem. And if I asked you why, it would turn back to this, to one of these 8 life forces. Okay, so I hope you guys all wrote them down. If not, I can give them to you all later. But these are going to be really, really important when you structure an offer. Okay, because 99 times out of 100, it should relate back to one of these things, one of these 8 things. Like it should directly relate to them. So, okay, sorry, I'm just gonna, there we go. Okay, boom, back to this. So it'll relate back to one of these things. Okay, now there is a second component to this, a second level, which is the 9 learned wants. And I'm just realizing now I only have 8 written down. So I don't know where the 9th one went, but we're gonna have 8 for today. Okay, and the 9 learned wants from people are to be informed. Okay, to be informed, to be curious. If people have curiosity for something and they want to know more, to be clean. Right? We want our bodies to be clean. That is a learned want. Fourth one is convenience, the convenience for something, right? We often think of this as fast food, right? Convenience of doing something. 5 is dependability, like depending on something. 6 is the expression of beauty. 7 is profit, and 8 is bargains. I don't know where the 9th one went, but these are secondary learned wants that go along with the 8 life forces. Okay.
The 9th one is efficiency.
Thank you very much.
I written up from yesterday.
Thank you. There you go. So the 9th one is efficiency. Okay, which actually that's great you said that, because that's what a lot of you guys offer is like efficiency. Boom. Okay, let's go to the next section of this, and we're gonna tie this all in later. Okay, this will all be brought into like a full circle thing later, but I have to introduce this to you now for it to make sense later. Okay, so those are the 8 life forces, so the LF8, and the 9 learned wants, which actually I'm gonna write in here is efficiency. Okay, now here's where we're going to get into some more sales psychology stuff, right? So bear with me here. This might be a little all over the place, but like I said, once we get to the end, this will all make sense. So people buy with emotion and they justify with logic. Okay, all the time. You buy with emotion and you justify with logic. I don't care if you go to McDonald's and buy a burger, you bought it off the emotional basis of I'm hungry, I need some quick food. Later, you look at your banking and you go, yeah, that burger was worth $5, I was hungry. You bought with emotion because you were starving. Later, you justify that, yeah, it was just $5, it's fine. And I was hungry, so I had to get food. People buy with emotion, they justify with logic in every situation, okay, that I can think of. Like for me, an example right now I think of, not too long ago, I had to buy plugins for Final Cut Pro, which is my editing software. And it was because my client was wanting new effects for his real estate videos. And so I was like, shit, I have a problem. I need more effects. I don't have effects. So I was like, I need right now to buy these plugins so I can make good effects, so I can solve the problem to make my client happy. So that was my emotional state, and I went and I bought it. Later on, I justified, yes, this is worth the $200 because this went on to make his videos better, which made him happier, which made him stay longer, which made me make more money. Boom. I bought with emotion. Later on, I justified with logic. So you could be the best seller in the world and sell anybody with anything, like with whatever emotional thing you use, whatever emotional tricks you use. But if there's no logic after, they're going to want refunds. Okay. So you can sell anyone anything, right? If they're super emotional state. But if later when those emotions fade away, if the logic isn't there, they're going to want refunds and the sale isn't going to work out. Okay. So this should also be applicable very much to your guys' agency, right? Sell with emotion, justify with logic. Okay, if you trigger the right emotions, people like will feel like inclined to buy to solve the problem, whatever the case is, and then you justify the decision with logic. Okay, so I know we're all over the place here, but my next thing here is you want to visually demonstrate things. Okay, so in your ad copy and in your calls as well. So what I mean by that is you want to get your prospects to visualize themselves using the product. Okay, and the way we can use this is using descriptive and definitive language, which I have a whole section on later. Okay, but just know that if we can get our prospects, especially in ads, okay, like especially in ads, to demonstrate, as in like they can visualize themselves using the thing, things go through the roof. Sorry, I'm just letting somebody else in here. Okay, so use inclusive, definitive, descriptive language, and I'll go into way more detail on this later, but it's something I want to touch on quickly here. Okay, the next thing is selling the fear. Okay, this goes back to one of the LF8. If you sell the fear. Okay, so this might be the fear of not living comfortably, the fear of whatever it is, not being able to enjoy life or enjoy food. So selling the fear. And this one really, really got to me because there's a direct quote and example from the book that I'll share with you guys here. So when you sell the fear, one thing people do wrong is don't sell a new fear. Don't try and make something up. Okay, sell an existing fear that people already have. So existing fears you know people have without a shadow of a doubt. What the fuck is my hair doing? Hat goes back on. Okay, so here's an example directly from the book. So there's a dog grooming example. Okay, so here is the quote from the book. Fact, your dog could be the next victim of the horrible groomer's noose. This hangman-like contraption is designed to keep the fluffy on the table while she's getting her haircut. It's perfectly safe. That is, if she doesn't step off the edge. One wrong step and she'd snap her neck like an old West bandit swinging from the branches of the hangman's tree. The solution? Call Vanity and Fur Groomers, where we use love and kindness to beautify your doggy. Never dangerous mechanical contraptions like the groomer's noose that less experienced groomers risk using every day. I read that and I literally thought about calling my mom and telling her not to bring the dog to the groomer anymore because I got so scared that this is going to happen to my dog. And this isn't even a fucking ad. This is just in the book. So imagine if this was actually an ad targeted towards me, how I would feel. Right? Like, I don't know if you guys have a dog, but like that got to me because I love my dog with everything I have. I absolutely love my dog. And so I got scared because I don't want my dog to die. And they sold the fear of me losing my dog through this contraption. Okay. So if you sell the fear, and this only works for some things, for some of you, right? Like some of you can't sell the fear on, I don't know. I mean, you can probably sell the fear on a lot of things, but there's some things you might have a harder time doing. Okay, I think like a home remodel, you could sell the fear of people thinking you live in a shitty home. I don't know, right? Kind of a far-fetched example. So selling the fear can be used very well if you do it the right way. Okay. Now, next thing is an exercise I want to do with you guys. So I'm going to sell you guys two different things. And as a group, I want you guys to collectively come together to tell me which one you'd rather buy. So the first thing I'm going to sell you is a huge, clunky electric box with fancy buttons and a spinning plate. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to sell you guys, you have to pick one or the other, is I'm going to sell you guys a device that can cook food in seconds. You can expedite the time it takes to make food so you can focus on important tasks. Which one would you buy? Everyone, tell me. Say it out loud. Show me numbers. Okay, everybody's saying 2. Guess what? They're the same thing. They're both a microwave. Okay? They're the same. But all of you said you'd buy number 2. So what's the difference? Because it's the same thing. The difference is the way we position it. Okay? It's the way we structure it. It's the way we angle our offer. It's still a microwave. Okay? Big clunky electrical box with this fancy spinning plate and cool buttons. Or a device that lets you cook your food in seconds so you can spend time on things that matter. They're the same. So the difference is the way we structure what it is. In one, we talked about the features. In the other, we talked about the benefits. Do you see the importance of selling the benefits? What your product does for the person, not what your product is. So you're not selling Facebook ads. You're selling the benefit of Facebook ads, which, guys, it is not money. Okay? It is not money. Think back to the LF8. It is one of the LF8. Okay? So think about this. Why do people want money? Everybody's different, but let's think of most people. They want money so they can have the freedom to do what they want. And what is that usually? It's to live a comfortable life and enjoy time with their family. So no, you're not selling Facebook ads anymore. Okay? You are selling people a vehicle, okay, to get to sit on the beach with their family stress-free. You're still selling the same thing. The way you position it is totally different. Okay? And this goes for you, this goes for your clients, this goes for everything. You sell the end result, or you sell the benefit of what your product or service actually will do. Okay? This is, if you aren't already doing this, this could single-handedly be the biggest lever you could pull that might change everything for you right now. Okay? Whether that's in your agency or for your clients' ads, is do not sell the features. Okay? And I'm going to have even more, exactly, you sell the vacation, not the ticket, right? I thought the microwave example is the best, but yes, you don't sell the long wait lines. You don't sell the stress getting to the airport. You don't sell the time that you sit there wasting. You don't sell that. You sell the fact that you get to sit on a beach in Mexico looking at the sunset while you got a margarita in your right hand. Okay, by the pool. Same thing, right? You got the airplane. One is the benefit, other is the features. Okay, I have another example on this later to really drive this home for you guys. But that is just a huge thing that you guys need to capitalize on if you're not already. Okay. This thing is not as important, but I thought it's worth mentioning. And it's just the 6 weapons to influence people. And you can influence somebody by comparing. Okay. So comparing them to their peers. Okay. Or you can influence someone by getting them to like you. Okay. Oh, I like you, take my money. You can influence somebody using authority. Okay. So like, for example, Hormozy has huge authority. So he has a lot of influence over who we are. Right? So if you can crack the code of credibility, you can influence people that way. You can influence people with reciprocity. Okay, what goes around comes around. Okay, you guys don't know the rule of reciprocity. If you don't study it, I'm a big believer in it. It's awesome. The 5th one is commitment and consistency. And then the 6th one is scarcity. Get it while it lasts. Okay, you can influence people to do something with scarcity. Okay, so those are the 6 ways you can influence, 6 weapons to influence people, whether that's to like you or to make a decision. 6 weapons you can use. Okay. And if you guys, I can give you guys all this later. If you aren't quick enough to write it down, I'll be more than happy to share this all with you. Okay. Now, this is a random little side tip that I read while reading the book, and it's to give away the free thing that is needed to use your product best. Okay. So a lot of people give away random free things. Okay. But if you give away the free thing, and this is mainly for your clients, right, or for a product, but if you give away the free thing that could then be used to use your product best, people will buy your product more. Why? Well, one, rule of reciprocity, because you're giving them something. But 2, like we could talk about the Coke experiment where, quick thing to show the rule of reciprocity, there was a museum. And what they did is they had a sample size, and half of the people, they gave a Coke can when they walked in. Half the people, they gave nothing. It turns out that the people that were given the Coke can were way more likely to buy a piece of art after. Coke has nothing to do with art. So imagine if it did, right? The point is, if you give something, people are feeling inclined to give back. Okay, rule of reciprocity. So the thing with the giveaway, the free thing that is needed to use your product best, if you give away something like a smaller thing that they get for free, that could make your product even better. They're like, oh, shoot, I have this thing and it would go great with this. And this is the thing you sell. It's more for your clients. Like, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't know if I have one written down. No. But let's say, actually, wow, great example. I was driving, as you guys know, I was with Dylan, right? I was driving to Dylan's yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago, and I was behind this moving truck, and it said, lawyer fees and moving fees covered when you work with us. So they give away the free lawyer fees and moving fees, and it was a realtor's ad. Okay, it was on the back of this moving truck. And so he's giving away the free things. Sorry, you're gonna mute yourself, Glenn. Giving away the free things that people would love to have, and you use that when you use the product or service. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? Like, you give away the free thing that is needed to use your product best. So lawyer fees and moving fees. If you cover those, why wouldn't I work with you as a realtor? Because you're taking care of everything else I need. Okay? Give away the free thing that is needed to use your product best. Now, here's where we're going to start to get into the ad copy. Okay? Like, specifically ad copy, offer headlines, and even a little bit of creatives later on. Right to the chimpanzee brain. Now, you might be wondering, what the fuck is this guy saying? And it simply means, wow, the funny, it simply means, no pun intended, write more simply. Don't write crazy words. Write as if you're writing to a first grader, okay? Simplicity is key. Simplicity is absolutely key. Do not write 500 sentences all caught in one. Okay, we're going to talk about length of ad copy later, but like make things simpler to read. Make it easier. Make it easier to read with the words you write, with the way you structure your sentence. There's tools you can use to see what is the readability score of something you wrote. Make it as easy to read as possible. Okay, so break up your sentences. Structure your sentences in a way that's easy to read. Make it flow better. Make your words less shorter. Make it easier to read. Stop using all these crazy words. Okay, so write to the chimpanzee brain. Like write as if you're writing to some stupid kid in 2nd grade. Okay, now back to the thing we talked about earlier, is using definitive language to help people visualize. So my example to this is, you don't say, hey, let me pick on somebody here. Who do I see? Okay, I'm just gonna pick on Andreas, because why not? Andreas, you want to make your body look better? You can talk.
Sure.
Okay, or, yo, Andreas, do you want a rippling, rock hard stomach?
That was kind of weird, but yeah.
Get the point. Now did you visualize abs when I said that?
Yeah.
But did you visualize abs when I said you want a better body?
No.
Okay, perfect. That's all I need to prove the point. So in this specific example, it said, want to make your body look better? Say men between 18 and 25, do you want to get the rock hard stomach you've always wanted to look good at the beach? See the difference? Okay, so it's using definitive, descriptive language to help people visualize the thing, right? Because when I said that, the first one, want to make your body look better, what the fuck? When you call out a certain substrata of people and you tell them exactly what it is, they can visualize it on themselves and go, oh shit, I want that. So people don't want to get in shape. They want to lose fat so their abs can show. So when they go to the pool, all the moms will look at them and go, oh my God, what happened to you? Right? So help them visualize that. So the way we can do that even better, and this should go for not just visualizing, but for ad copy in general, is using words like you, I, she, him, they, etc. Use inclusive language to make the reader feel like they're part of it. Okay? Make the reader feel like they are part of this conversation to ad copy. Right? And use it by using inclusive language. It also helps humanize the copy itself, which is something we always want to do anyways. Right? Now let's talk about headlines. And bear in mind, we are not done with ad copy whatsoever. We are not even halfway through, as a matter of fact. Okay, let's talk about headlines. This goes right back to the features versus the benefit, right? And this is literally what the headline is. So the reason that you guys would buy a cake, or I would buy a cake, or anybody would buy a cake, okay, is because it craves your sweet tooth need, because you are craving a cake, right? That is like the problem it solves, right? Is like you are craving a cake because your sweet tooth wants it, and so you buy a cake. You don't buy a cake because of the ingredients, okay? You don't buy a cake because of the flour. You don't buy a cake because of the eggs inside of it. No. You buy it because you're currently hungry and you really want something sweet. So you buy a cake. So what am I saying here again? You guessed it, feature versus benefit. The ingredients is the feature. The benefit is you get to crave your sweet tooth, okay, and enjoy a nice piece of cake. Which one do you buy it for? I'll tell you this, none of you buy for the ingredients. So why do you keep selling the ingredients to people? Why do you keep selling people Facebook ads? Why do you keep selling people Google ads? Why do you see? That's not what we're selling here. We're not selling Facebook ads. Whatever you're selling, we're not selling that thing. We're selling the result, the benefit of our thing that it gets them. Okay? Now, in your headline, your absolute biggest and best benefit should be in the headline. If your biggest and best benefit is not in the headline, you're doing something completely wrong. Okay? So make sure your best, the best thing that you benefit, that your clients will, your prospects that are seeing the ad will benefit from, is in the headline. Okay, so what they will benefit from. So another example I have for you guys is, do not say, attention food servers, new workshop teaches you the trick of the trade. What you should say is, attention food servers, new workshop teaches you how to boost your tips by 512% or your money back. Both the same thing, totally different in who would be curious in it and who would want to read more. Okay, and it's the way that we structure it, because we talked about the benefit. Right? We talked about what they will get from it. It is evident that you're going to get a 512% increase in tips or your money back. Like, holy shit. Doesn't get better than that. Okay? So you include your biggest benefit to the customer, okay, in your headline. Let's move on. One other thing for this is the shorter the better, because it's easier to read, okay? So if you can make your offer from 10 words instead of 20 words, that'll be better, okay? Let's move on. This is something I'll dive into later, but like for a free offer, like if you're doing a free offer for somebody, I actually have a screenshot of 22 of these. I'll give you guys for different offers, like a how-to. I have a screenshot later. I'll show you guys. Okay. But essentially for the free offer, free X shows you how to benefit that results. For example, free ebook shows you how to make an extra $2,500 a month that lets you take your family on a beautiful vacation to Hawaii without lifting a finger. Okay, so the framework for making these offers, or making this headline, I should say, is free X shows you how to benefit that result. Okay, so you have to fill in the blanks with whatever it is you're doing. And one more time, free X, okay, so free thing they're getting, free consultation shows you how to benefit, sell your home quicker, that result that lets you spend time with your family while you make passive income. Okay, whatever it is that you're filling in, that is the framework you can use for a free offer. Okay, and we're going to talk about the 21 other types of offers later. So now let's talk about creatives a little bit. Okay, let's talk about creatives, because this is a cool thing I read, and I'm sure this is something we subconsciously kind of know. However, I don't think you guys use it to its fullest extent. Here is scientifically proven the best photos that you can use for your ads. Okay, in order, I think. Number one, can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what it is?
Organic, yeah.
Someone smiling.
Okay, we got a bunch of different answers. The answer is child and babies.
Dang.
Okay, now I'm gonna run through the rest of them. Child and babies, mother and baby, group of adults, animals, sports scenes, celebrities, and then food. And if we ask ourselves why, what is so cool about these versus other things that we could add in your creatives? And if you remember, one of the very first things we talked about was the LF8, the Life Forces 8. Okay? Because it taps into those things. It taps into the LF8. That is why those are so important and so powerful. They're super powerful because they really tap into the LF8. Okay? One other thing you guys should be aware of is add context to your photos. So instead of just, let's say if you're selling a fridge, instead of having just a picture of a fridge, put a picture of a fridge in a nice home, in a nice kitchen. Okay, add context to the photos. Okay, it helps with visualizing, and it helps bring the picture, like the creative, together. Okay, because you're adding context to the thing. Okay, because if you just have a bike, okay, what about a bike inside a trail, right? It's like, oh, should I use it for mountain biking? So add context to your photos. Okay, another thing we talked about earlier today that I want to touch on again is someone's why, right? Like someone's why will be in the LF8. So target that, right? Like often, more often than not, somebody's why for something will be inclusive in the LF8. Okay, like a lot of you guys right now probably started this agency because of one of the things in the LF8. And I'd say a good portion of you is for comfortable living, right? You want to be able to live a good life. You want to be able to do things on your own time schedule, right? You want to be able to make sure that you can afford rent the next month and for many months after that, right? I take it, obviously there's a lot more reasons, I'm sure, but a base thing for a lot of us is probably want to be able to live good, right? You want to have freedom. So maybe it's social approval, another one of the LF8, okay? All tie in, okay? So all our whys is tied into LF8. So we got to think that our prospects, our clients, theirs is as well. How can we target that? Okay. Now, a thing I've said time and time again is that the less something looks like an ad, the more oftentimes the reader will stop. Okay, to read. Right? So the less something looks like an ad, the more times readers will stop to read it. An example for me, on YouTube, right? When you're scrolling through shorts, you get ads. The second that I see that it's an ad, I don't care what it is, I swipe away instantly because it's an ad. Now, I don't know if it's because I have an ego or if it's because I don't have I don't know what it is. I instantly scroll. I don't care to even listen what it could be. Instantly, I'm gone. Instantly, I'm gone. Okay. I do not care for ads. And a lot of people, I imagine you guys are the same way. So the less your ad looks like an ad, the more chance people will actually stop to look at it. Right? And one of the ways this has become very popular as of recently, which you guys, I don't know if you noticed or not, but is a lot of content people out now are just ads, like organic content are just ads. Right? But the reason why it doesn't look like an ad because it's not being paid for. So one of the coolest examples I have seen is when people like, I wish I had the video on hand. I'm trying to think of an extreme example. Oh, I have a really good one. It is very haram. This is a really good example that one of my friends actually sent to me the other day. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. If not, it's probably a good thing. But my friend sent me a video the other day, and it's of this, I don't know who the fuck she is, but she's an OnlyFans girl. And she goes down with a fucking big cart with gifts, walking around saying, mystery gift or 1 year subscription. Okay. And all the guys in the video say mystery gift, right? And everyone here is like laughing. Oh, wonder what's in the mystery gift. Oh, she's literally promoting herself. Not to the guy that she's giving the free subscription to. It's to every single person watching. Because they're like, oh my God, this girl's OnlyFans and she's hot. What's her name? Super haram. But do you see how fucking smart these people are? Like, I swear to God, some of these OnlyFans girls, even I don't know if it's them or their agencies, are so smart, man. Like, that to me is incredible. It is disgusting what they do. Okay? Right? Haram, 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 haram. But credit to them for how smart they are. Because that is next level marketing. Okay? And like the amount of guys who watch that video and then go buy is absolutely disgusting. Incredibly disgusting. Okay? But it works. Right? And why? Well, one, because they're horny young people, but two, because it's not even an ad. Right? She's promoting herself all the time without promoting herself. So the less your ad looks like an ad, the better it does. If there was a way to track the conversions on that, I would love to see, because I guarantee you there are some crazy numbers. Right? I'm sure if you guys start to think about people you follow and content they post, you can find a lot more examples like this. One more I can think of right now is there's this guy who goes around and he basically does like this challenge and he gives him like $100 or something. But then what he says is this. He's, listen, I'll give you the $100 or you can give it back to me. I can invest it for you and make you 10 grand. And then what he does is he uses his program or platform or hits some like day trading thing where he then goes and makes the $100 into 10 grand and gives him the 10 grand. Now, from an outsider perspective, super cool video. But when I analyzed it, I was like, holy shit, this is a marketing. He's marketing for his program or platform. I forget one of the two things for his day trading. And I was like, this guy's genius. Right? If you don't think about it, you would never in a million years think about it that way. Right? You would never think, oh my God, he's marketing to me. Right? Because it seems so organic. And so credit to these guys for being so smart, and we should learn from them. The less your ad looks like an ad, the better it does. Because I would love if there's a way to find statistics on organic content and how much that converts, especially like those videos, two examples I just talked about are incredible examples of this. Okay. Now let's move down and get into some more spicy stuff. This is a super random thing I read in the book, side tip, to get more emails opened. But this goes for not just more emails open, it goes for DMs and a few other things as well. 3 tips. Number 1 is being a familiar sender. Like if right now, if you guys got an email from Stefan Van Flaziker, you guys would all open it because that's me. So like, what's he saying? Right? Because I'm a familiar name. Now, if you got a email from Ethan Dynamos, oh, whoever's that, please mute yourself. You're good? We're good. Okay. From Ethan Dynamos, who the fuck is that guy? Right? Probably not as likely to open it because you're not a familiar name. So, when we're sending emails or even like whatever it is, if we can be familiar, like if you have a familiar name, use it. Okay. And if we aren't, let's try and get familiar, right? Like if you got an email right now from John Cena, you would open it because you're like, oh, I know John Cena. What is this? Right? Because you're curious because it's a familiar name. Okay. The second thing is a personal subject line. And this goes for emails, but very much so is this more, for a lot of other things as well, is in your video messages. If anyone's sending evergreen video messages, don't send personalized ones. Say the name. Okay. I don't care if you have to find their first name or the company name, say the name. Okay. So make it personalized. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, this will be using their name. The third thing is an offer of interest using precision targeting. So instead of like being like, oh, attention realtors, attention full-time real estate agents located in Miami area. You see the difference? Use precision targeting to make the people feel like you're specifically targeting them. Okay. So those are 3 side things. It is for cold email, but this can be used for a lot of different things as well, right? As you guys are probably already thinking of. Now, I got lost here. A super random thing, but some statistical data for you. Blue and yellow colors and blue and red colors are the most liked ad colors. Okay. So people really like blue and yellow and blue and red. Okay. I don't know why. That's just what the stats show. Super random tip. Blue and yellow together and blue and red together. You can look more into this if you'd like, but that's just a tip I thought I'd share with you guys. Now, this is something that is absolutely huge. Okay. So I'm telling you guys right now, I'm sorry if I make you more money, because what I'm about to say might make you more money, or specifically might make your clients more money. When you make ads, they are not for your client. You're not making ads for your client. You are making ads for your client's clients, also known as the people seeing the ad. Okay, you are not making ads for your clients. You're making ads for the people who are going to see the ad. Okay, so I don't give a shit what the fuck your client says they want to do. Who cares what your client wants? It's what the people want that are going to see the ad. That's what matters. Okay, so when we think about making the ad, think about how can we make this tailor to people who are actually going to see it. So for example, if you are going to make an ad targeting 30 to 50-year-old woman, go up to your mom without any context and say, what do you think of this? Okay, because she's biased, but if you don't give her context, right, we want to figure out the people we're targeting, what do they think of this? Okay, how do they take this? Right? Because you don't make an ad for 30 to 40-year-old woman and then show it to an 18-year-old guy. Right? That's not how it works. So it doesn't matter what the 18-year-old guy thinks, which 18-year-old guy is you. I don't care what you think. It's what do the people seeing your ad? What do they think? So put yourselves in the people you're targeting. Put yourself in their shoes. Okay? And I don't care if you have to talk to family members, friends, whatever the case is. If you can get more insider data on like the people you're targeting, hey, does this look good to them? You'll be more successful. So once again, you do not make ads for your clients, you make ads for the people seeing the ad. Okay, and this goes the same for you guys. Right? Like you're not making your offer for you, how to benefit you, how it makes you the most amount of money. You make your offer based on the problems that your prospects or clients have. Okay? So it's not what you want, it's not what you want to offer. I don't give a fuck if you want to do Facebook ads or Google ads. I don't care. You don't do either of them. You do what solves the problem of the people you talk to. Okay? Cool. Moving on. Something that I thought was amazing and spectacular is starting your sales letters, but this is an example for sales letters, but this is directly going to be an example for ad copy. So it goes from the book, right? I'm reading this almost verbatim. Start your sales letters this way. Let's say you sell tear gas spray to women. The opening of your letter, or in our case, ad copy, should not be. Now, if it's ad copy, just remove the first line, okay? But let's say if you're doing sales letters, the opening of your letter should not be, Dear Janet, in these days of uncertainty on our streets, we continually read about the horrors that women face. We read frightening statistics that paint a gloomy picture of blah, 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 blah. No one cares. Instead, write, Dear Janet, can you protect yourself against a 220-pound rapist? Now, which one grabbed your attention more? One or two? Just show of hands on cameras here. Two. Okay? Obviously. Like, holy fuck. Can you protect yourself against 220-pound rapists? It got me thinking. Fuck, I don't think so. I'm getting raped. Okay? So do you see how the difference between the two? And if you don't, the difference is the question. They started this off with a question that made her visualize herself in the situation and made her curious of what's to come. Okay? Like the answer is obvious which one was better. Right? And so if you read I guess if you want to call it sales letter or copy I wrote for you guys to all show up to this call, the first line was the benefit. Okay? What you're going to get from showing up, which is making your clients beg for you to stay. The second was a question. Have you ever found yourself up at 1 a.m. writing ad copy? Right? You pictured yourself staying up to 1 a.m. because a lot of you probably have writing ad copy going, fuck, I don't know what to do. None of this is working. Okay? So I asked you a question which made you curious to read the rest, and it sparked your attention. So we need to do this in our copy. Okay? Headline, body, like in the copy, question. Okay? So asking a question is huge. Like huge. Game changer. Absolutely game changer. And what question you want to ask is totally up to you. Okay? Moving on. PVAs, which I forget the meaning, but we'll get to that in a second. This is the easy way to boost the power of your copy. And this is kind of what we just talked about with questions, right? But I'm gonna ask a question to you guys, okay? So show of hands after you're gonna put up one finger or two fingers, okay, all of you guys. So which of the following sentences conveys more excitement and interest to you? Sentence number 1. You get 6 red apples handpicked by my mother from our backyard farm. So delicious. They're probably the best apples you've ever eaten. That's 1. Now hold up. Here's sentence number 2. Just wait until you sink your teeth into the sweetest, juiciest, most mouth-watering, red, delicious apples you've ever eaten. Not just 1 or 2, but a full 1 dozen of these crisp, luscious beauties, each one carefully handpicked by my 73-year-old grandmother from the golden sun-drenched orchards in our very own backyard. Show of hands, everybody, 1 or 2, which one sounded better? Everybody, Andreas, Ramesh, let's see. 2, obviously. As a matter of fact, I want those damn apples now because those sounded amazing. So what's the difference? Okay, well, the second paragraph is loaded with what you call powerful visual adjectives. Okay, PVAs, powerful visual adjectives. And these PVAs produce clear, bright, and high impact visual images, okay, that will help our prospects demonstrate your product in their minds. When I said the second one, did you guys all think of a bunch of nice red apples? I did. And as a matter of fact, it made me think of my home back in Holland because we lived on a farm with a bunch of apple trees and the sun shining through, my mom picking, right? Holy moly, I want some apples now. As a matter of fact, I might go buy some after this. I've sold myself into buying damn apples. And maybe you guys too. Okay? And we didn't even talk about the benefits of them, right? We didn't talk about the benefits of the apples. This is just like, oh, well, here's some cool things about the apple. This is just a copy, right? So using PVAs, I'll say it one more time. PVAs stands for powerful visual adjectives, okay? And it helps your product visualize, helps your prospect visualize your product in their minds, okay? Which makes the buying process way easier. So I got some more examples for you guys because examples are great, right? The more examples we have, the clearer and easier it is to think of how we can do this ourselves later. So this is for cleaning service. So if any of you guys do cleaning service, lucky you. So our expert cleaners will make your office sparkle like new. What you should say is we make your walls and floors hospital bright, your restrooms sparkling and sanitized, your windows gleaming clean, and your carpets fluffy, fresh, and deodorized. Damn. Sounds like they're going to really clean it up. Okay? Same thing, the way you position it, the way you say it is totally different. And it makes all the difference. Okay? Other examples. And this one I thought was really cool because as a matter of fact, I hope this is real because I want to read it. Okay? Chinese billionaire reveals 14 secrets that helped make him so rich. And one thing to note, I know you guys can't see this, but this has initial caps. So every first letter of new word is capitalized. Imagine this one, okay? Would you guys read this book? With just 4 months left to live, millionaire agrees to reveal secrets of wealth and success. I want to read that book. Doesn't that create so much curiosity? Like, holy shit, what? Millionaire with just 4 months left to live agrees, right? Agrees is a strong point that doesn't just say agrees to reveal his secrets of wealth and success. Holy shit. That's going to be loaded, right? Gets your attention. It makes you curious. You want to read more. If you started off, if that was your headline, right? If that was in your copy, whatever you do, you would want to read more. You'd be like, well, what comes next? Okay. Last one is millionaire's private diary found in Palm Springs reveals little known secrets of success. Like, I mean, could you create any more curiosity? I don't think so. Okay. So what it says here is, do you get the point? The point is to create a hook or positioning that's different from what thousands of other advertisers are saying. Be truthful, but find an intriguing way to say it. Stop all the get rich online nonsense. People are tired of this vague, generic stuff. Ask yourself, what's unique about my offer? Am I the only one offering this plan, product, or service? What's unique about me that I can exploit? You find the one thing that's unique and you put it on blast. Okay. Now, we are nearing the end, so you guys are about to get even luckier. Okay, because we are going to go through a checklist to make sure you have killer ads. And I will share this with you guys, okay, in the Discord. But I'm going to speak it out first, and I'll share it with you guys after. Okay, so here is a fast and easy way to help ensure that your ads contain the best ingredients for success. Okay, the more boxes you can check, the better.